Gente boa. That was kind of creepy. Welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to be talking about shadowing. I've been able to accumulate over 60 hours of shadowing physicians in my undergrad experience over the span of almost 2 years now, and I'm on track to have around 100 hours of shadowing at the time of medical school applications. And I really wanted to share everything that I did to find those experiences with you guys. I've heard from so many pre-meds that finding anything even near that or opportunities in the first place has been extremely difficult, and some haven't even been able to find any. And so I wanted to make this video talking about how I was able to find each one of my shadowing experiences. I've been able to shadow physicians in ENT, ophthalmology, orthopedics, family medicine, OB, and psychiatry. Before I go into all of those details, I want to actually show you some footage of me shadowing. Now obviously I can't bring you into the room with the patient, but I can give you kind of the before and after of shadowing and give you my thoughts. So this first physician that I'm shadowing is a pediatric ophthalmologist. His name on social media is Dr. Brad IMD. And he's fantastic. This is my wife's uncle, so I was very fortunate to marry such a cool wife. I'm gonna take you through the aftermath of that. Awkwardly, I'm wearing this exact same shirt, but whatever. And please stick around till the end of this video because I'm gonna talk to you about how shadowing this physician has genuinely changed my life. Without any further ado, let's get into the footage.
All right, we just finished up. I'm heading out now. I'll talk a little bit more about how things went today in the car. So we just finished up here. It was actually a really fun day. Maybe it's time for a haircut, so I stopped touching my hair. This surgeon at this surgical facility bounces between rooms. And so instead of like sticking to one room all day doing surgery and having to wait until the next patient gets in, gets sedated, and then they can start the surgery, there's a little bit more downtime. He has patients going in 2 rooms, so he can switch between the rooms and do surgeries a lot quicker. And I actually, for one of the surgeries, I got to sit in with a different surgeon who specializes in mainly cataract and glaucoma surgery. So I got to see one of those, and he let me scrub in, and I got to look through the microscope. Yeah, that was really cool to see. He did a really good job explaining everything that he was doing. Before, when I've shadowed here, the surgeries would go for about 3-4 hours longer. Let's see, I came in at 6:30 and it's currently 10:45. So usually we'd be going until like 1 or 2. And in that case, sometimes we would like grab a really quick snack between surgeries because once again, there's a little bit more downtime. You know, right after surgery breaks, there's like 10, 15, sometimes 20 minutes where, you know, they need to get the patient out of the room, prep for the next surgery. And sometimes if it's a child, it's hard to get them sedated because they have really small veins and arteries. Literally, it'll take like, you know, a bucket full of needles just to get one good stick on a little baby. It's also really nice because I got no sleep last night, so I got to go home and relax a little bit before work. I'll be at work until 11 p.m. And tomorrow I have a midterm to take, which I'm not excited about. It'll be okay, we'll get through it. I'm also filming this on my phone, so we'll see how this footage shows up.
Yeah. Now, the second and final physician that I shadowed, that I'm showing in this video, was a family medicine physician, and he spoke Portuguese. Now, Portuguese is my second language. I learned it growing up from my dad. Thankfully, I was able to shadow this physician, and he had several Portuguese-speaking patients that came in during the day. It's really cool to see him interact with them and talk medicine and relate to them in Portuguese. A lot of it was vocabulary that I'd never heard before, and that was very, very cool to see. Total, I've shadowed this physician 2 times, and this video that I'm showing is of me shadowing him the second time. Unfortunately, I filmed the first time on this camera that I'm filming on, which I stupidly deleted. Anyway, let's get right into it.
We just got finished shadowing that same family medicine physician again today. So I shadowed him last Monday. I was editing the video last night of last week's footage, and I realized that there was a bunch of stuff that I didn't say. In terms of the physician and what he was doing, it was super cool to see how personal he was with the patients. You know, he was so, I don't know how to really describe it. He's just like so warm. He really had great relationships with all these patients. A lot of them he delivered 15 years ago, and they're coming in and they're in high school now, and he's talking to them about how they're doing, and their little picture on the computer is them as a baby. And that's something that I haven't been able to see with a lot of the other specialties so far. And also the relationship between the doctors and the staff there is also incredibly positive. You can tell that they're a great family. They all hang out together in like big groups and do barbecues and, you know, 4th of July parties together. Like, who does that, you know? Great environment at this clinic. I hope I get to shadow him again someday.
Now let's get into the actual practical advice of how to find shadowing hours for medical school. So every single shadowing opportunity that I found it through one of these 3 categories. The first one, contact friends and family. So if you know any friends or any family that are physicians, or know people that are physicians, either from work or friends of theirs, politely ask them if they could get you in contact with this person. This is always the best place to start, because you already have a foot in the door and people are way more willing to let you shadow them if they know you because you're a family member or you're a good friend. Number 2, always look for opportunities to shadow. Let's say that you go into the doctor to get your throat checked out and they tell you that you have throat cancer. No, that's kind of sad. Strep throat, that's way better. And when the doctor comes back to give you your results, you say, hey, I see that you're a doctor, I'm a pre-med student, I would love to shadow you for a day. I don't know what your shadowing policy is here at this clinic, but I would absolutely love that. At best, this doctor lets you shadow him. That would be so cool. At medium, he refers you to a different doctor, and at worst, he just says no. But seriously, the answer is always gonna be no unless you ask, and you have to take advantage of these opportunities. Number 3, call and or visit local clinics or hospitals. This one's pretty self-explanatory. Literally just call a local clinic or hospital, look them up on Google, click on the number and ask them, hey, do you have a shadowing policy for pre-med students? What might even work better than this is showing up to the clinic yourself. It's very important to take advantage of every single opportunity. So now let's go over it. 1, contact friends and family. 2, always be looking for opportunities. And 3, reach out to local clinics and or hospitals. That's it. That's all you have to do. And of course, be persistent with all of these things and be as respectful as you can. But why is shadowing even important in the first place? The physician that I shadowed at the very beginning of this video, the pediatric ophthalmologist, Dr. Brad IMD, that was the very first time that I went into an OR. It felt a little bit like being a bull in a china shop. The very first surgery that I shadowed, I was absolutely in love with the process. I was so amazed. It was like this enlightening opportunity for me of, hey, this is like some of the coolest stuff I've ever seen in my entire life, and I want to learn how to do this so bad. And it was that very, very first shadowing experience that prompted me to start volunteering at my local hospital in an OR. I actually applied for that position. It was as an OR orderly, and that's what I currently do. So I currently work as an OR orderly at a local hospital. And had it not been for that shadowing experience, I never would have had the job that I have now. Now on the flip side of this, I'm a psychology major, and I originally chose the pre-med path to become a psychiatrist because clinical psychology wasn't totally scratching the itch that I had. I shadowed a psychiatrist for an afternoon. Maybe boring is too strong of a word, but it was underwhelming, and that really shocked me. I totally thought that psychiatry was what I wanted to do, what I was cut out for, but after having those 2 experiences, shadowing a psychiatrist and a surgeon, it totally changed my mind, and it made me way more interested in something that I had no idea I would ever be interested in. Shadowing is such an incredibly important tool for the whole pre-med track, and it's a way for medical schools to see whether or not people are serious about medicine, and also a way to weed out people before applying to medical school. I can imagine that there's thousands of people that have wanted to be doctors, or at least the idea of being a doctor, and then they go and shadow a doctor and they realize it's not for them, and they end up going down a different path, which is awesome. That's equally as important and equally as valuable as enjoying the shadowing process. If you learned something in this video, or you liked anything in this video, please leave a like. I would really appreciate it. Subscribe to this channel for more content. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.